So in this video, I wanted to address, and I've not done this before, so this is going to be news to me, as it will be for anybody who bothers to take any notice of the things that I talk about. So I did mention a few days ago that I did put a comment on someone's video regarding everything he was telling people to do, he actually doesn't do in most of his technique squeegee videos. And I didn't want to come across as being arrogant or egotistical. I wanted his response, and he wasn't rude to me. He didn't say anything negative. The thing is, he didn't say anything. So that is a typical example of an ego that I just don't want to address that issue. So he does talk about something else, and it's the same technique that I was talking about. This is one of his recent videos, and this is not to, none of this information is to make me look good. This information is for anybody who wants to work on a complete different level to most window cleaners. Okay, so first of all, let's do the example. I'm going to use this window here, and I'm going to do both sides in this time, because it's going to be a time comparison. But first of all, I wanted to show you, this is the technique he does. Okay, so that is the problem that I got on this occasion with that technique. Now that probably is to do with the rubber. I never use these squeegees, so the rubber's probably got a little bit hard. But there's a problem here. But forget about that massive problem here. There is a massive amount of mess around the edges. It doesn't matter what squeegee brand you're using, if it's not a liquidator or some self-modified channel to a high degree, you're always going to get mess. And the thing is, these window cleaning technicians that like to put their emphasis on, this is what I do, this is what you should do, just like me, they never address the mess. So I've got a cloth here, and what I'm going to do is do both sides of that window, because what he does is he compares this technique with a standard traditional fanning technique with someone working on the other side of the glass. Now there is no one else to work on the other side of the glass. So what I'm going to do is time comparison this maneuver, which is basically a Sorbo maneuver. He was the guy who put this on the internet, and it's entirely useless if you don't address the mess that it causes. And what I wanted to do is do a time comparison of that maneuver versus a liquidator, which is much smaller channel. This is a 22-inch channel, this is a 14-inch channel, with just a regular fanning maneuver. And we're going to Casio time compare it, so we can definitely see who's on the right track in terms of getting effective and efficient work information on the internet. So let's get on with it, because I'm quite interested in to find out what the results is. But because this result with this tool and that technique will require me to detail, that's all going to be incorporated, because we're not worrying about this bit here, but the glass. We've got to address the mess, which pretty much most people neglect. They just talk about the technique, what makes them look cool. And none of this makes me or feel cool, makes me look cool or feels cool, because I'm not interested in looking cool, and I'm not interested in what other people do in their work, but I am interested in people becoming the best at their work. And how do they get to the best in their work? They have to follow a certain procedure, which most window cleaners will never address, and most window cleaners will never be able to use, which is tool and technique with the liquidator. And if you want to use an accelerator, that's fine. So let's start the clock, and I'm going to do both sides of the window. Okay, so we're going to start down here, and we're going to go up. There's a lot of mess there. let's go this side. A lot of mess there. So let's do a quick tune up with the refinement. And the refinement is really bad, really bad. You know, it doesn't help having squeegee rubber that hasn't been used in a long time. So that's about 43 seconds with a lot of mess, and it's not a true time comparison because, as I said, I don't use that tool, and the rubber probably is a little bit, let me just feel it. It's yeah, it's a bit stiff, but it is stored in the cool dark place. But forget about the middle section, it's the outer section. Awful. So what I wanted to emphasize is just a standard typical fanning maneuver, because he emphasizes that doing this maneuver is always the best in terms of efficiency, but he never addresses the effectiveness. And remember, I think that effectiveness comes first and efficiency comes second. So let's time. Put the tool in the right place at the right time. So of course I'm going to get the effectiveness 100% on the glass. I'm just doing a traditional standard, nothing fancy maneuver. Okay, so that was 35 seconds, but the detailing, the effectiveness is just spot on. So I actually worked less time, got a much better result, and if I was to get that result, zero detail, zero mistake, with that cloth, moving around with that cloth, it would have took up to about a minute or more to get that result. So in a nutshell, I answered my own initial thoughts. Tool, technique, special kind of soap solution, soap added to the washer, rubbed in, liquidator, head and shoulders above any other squeegee in terms of effectiveness. Of course, you've got to learn how to do tool and technique and be more effective with your squeegee maneuverability, but a time-saving technique with a pretty poor standard squeegee will always result in less results and more time to take more work to get the job done. So again, it's just another nail in the coffin from other people's information, other people's ideas, other brands of tools, working longer, harder, slower, forever getting less results.